type work on higher education tuition in this Senate, and we would ask the Democrats of this chamber to join with us as Republicans and reduce.
The hard part is going back and forth. That's when it really struggles, I think.
This striking amendment that is a better budget.
It goes back and forth.
Well, like, yeah, like when I'm talking, you're talking, we're both talking at the same time. It doesn't know which one to play.
This is a supplemental budget.
I can't hear you as well.
Biennial process.
Yeah. I have it set in an absurd way though, because I had the speaker like right. I pointed it right in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the worst case scenario for a classroom setup. And it still is doing its job.
Yeah,
I think it's spot on.
So that's awesome. That's like really good, good news.
Sides, a lot of trust on both sides, a lot of commitment made on both sides, and really the only currency you have in the legislature is trust and standing by what you said you were going to do. And this body passed with a super majority a tax parity as part of the budget on manufacturing tax rates to give.
Yeah, I had the microphone. I was like,
small manufacturers in rural areas the same tax rate that we gave to Boeing. That was a bipartisan deal as part of the budget between the chambers. Unless you think we just fell off the turnip truck when we did it,
or something like that.
Agreed to by the governor as well. Again, with a super majority. This is a supplemental budget to continue the work that we did last year. And I am asking the members of this Senate chamber to stand by what we did last year in that give and take fashion. There was enough money to do it last year. There's now $2.5 billion more.
And the question, is it enough?
Let's get
big class,
small business, and every manufacturer,
how much,
including the little guy.
You get a lot of students in there.
Got together and gave to Boeing in such a quick fashion. This isn't just about what's good for Goliath being good for you. This is about
pretty big room.
Compromise process and the Senate and this legislature.
Thank you, Madam President. Also, in support of the striking amendment, and I will keep my
as long as the speaker itself is loud enough.
Committee, the underlying budget certainly does have some room to grow, and or as Senator Erickson would ask, but I do think that it is a sound document, and we do appreciate the good work of the chair. My only other suggestion beyond the striking amendment is that she would not hold a Ways and Means hearing on a Saturday. But other than that, I would say that we've talked about.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. It's like a speaker.
Investments and
I mean, it's like a Southern Coffee.
Yeah. Like was the $25 million to expand community-based, which are really important as we start to move away from the RH.
Open window. Use their teacher voice.
Yeah. Here. We've put some and help that. Very appreciative for the $5 million in the underlying volume on your computer fund. We think that there's room to grow that as well, and hopefully, as we move through, this striking amendment has $10 million for that. Hopefully, we can make some progress there as well. We've also expanded something I know that's
full volume. It doesn't
Meals on Wheels. We can have 4,000 more low-income seniors that are served by that program here in this striking amendment. And then the last thing that was referenced very briefly by Senator Braun is the early learning investment, $102 million, so that we continue to at 2023 have those covered. This investment would add another 5,000. So
it's even more right.
Progress on each of those. I don't know. Increasing the amount of property tax that is.
We have conferences in this room with this thing, and that is probably 5 times louder.
But I will, Madam President.
I think we're definitely fine.
For her good work on the underlying.
And the vast majority of the classes, it's fine. For those few weird ones that can't get it figured out. It's just like, this is full.
Thank you.
Plug it into the done.
Sort of the striking amendment. And Senator Zeiger has talked about a lot of the issues that are important, but I want to start with the effect of the.
Exactly. It was like this. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't.
Well, and I've said it before. The second legislative district does not have one college footprint in its boundaries. Not one.
That would be done.
The second legislative district has a 97% graduation rate from high school.
Put this.
Only 9% of those students are going on to college. The most successful part of the college in our communities has been Running Start. My neighbors, both, their twin sons, graduated from high school with their AAs.
Yeah.
When we talk about wanting people to have that education, wanting people to be able to
And that's just it's a high quality setup.
their lives, we're gonna, to me, any kind of a cut in Running Start is it's the only thing that is helping my community.
Here's a nice little.
Okay, I also want to say, Senator Rolfes, how much I appreciate everything that you've done and the things that I've asked for in the budget.
One speaker. Like,
But I would like us also to
yeah.
look
Yes.
at funding the pupil transportation in a greater method. I've stood up and I've talked about what that effect would be in my community. Number one, it is our constitutional responsibility to fund transportation, and yet Bethel School District is constantly $2 to $3 million underfunded. It's not efficient because of the way the road systems are set up. No sidewalks. They have to get these to schools quickly.
Yeah, I have a power like that. Has power.
$1 million in the hole. That's not talking about my Yelm or my Ording or any of the other that face the same thing. So the striking amendment puts another 10 million into it, equating out to 30 million. And I think it's more realistic when we're looking at what actually can happen in our district. I also want to go back to the mental health and putting an additional 75 million into communities. I've been on the
We respect our program.
hospital now for 2 years.
Good year.
We have put
$10
school, and we have put
It's high quality stuff.
That's some good shit.
$2 into that school. A
Great.
8.8% increase.
It's good.
The school is still under sanctions by CMS.
Feel like some of the other facts.
Still under sanctions by CMS.
Speaker.
What does that mean,
Yeah.
Madam President? It means that we could lose federal funding.
So yeah, this looks like it still has.
There have been more people hired, except
Have the
mismanagement, not just of Western State Hospital. Rainier State School is in the same.
it's only 2.
The VA hospital,
Yes,
the Ording Old Soldiers Home, still, they were under sanctions. They worked their way through it. But Madam President, this amendment helps
Auxiliary input, yes.
not just put money towards it, but put the processes in place.
That's auxiliary input.
Support. Thank you.
That's all we need.
Senator Rivers.
Yeah, $129.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I my voice to the voice of people, thanking my good friend for the hard work that she's done. The task before her was enormous, and I appreciate that. I have a couple of reasons for supporting the striking amendment about children's health. We've seen, especially in southwestern Washington, a veritable desert because of the low reimbursement rates for those children.
This one looks, yeah.
By adding the $49 million
I think it's like something
included
Bluetooth.
in this striker,
Well,
I believe that
I mean,
we
this is Bluetooth too.
that
It
issue.
connects with it all the time.
Second thing that's really important to me is an item that was included but vetoed by the governor last year. We, as a legislature, voted to support UPDL PBM for the state.
Built-in microphone for taking calls.
$100 to buy pharmaceuticals. The state's not collecting the rebates on those. So our problem is that we are buying the airplane tickets and everyone else is taking the
So probably, so you can.
miles they're collecting because of that purchase.
Now from
We
your.
need to fix that. This striker offers that opportunity as well. The savings are significant and could be spent on reinvigorating our struggling. Asking for a yes vote. Thank you. Senator Short.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise in support of the striking amendment today. And the thing that really spoke to me in the education package, there has been so much work done, and I appreciate all the efforts that were done last year and the efforts I was doing this year. But I want to talk about the small.
This has a microphone.
I have 29 school districts, and most of those are small to mid-size. And they were the ones that were the hardest to figure out how to come up with an equitable solution that meets their needs when.
And then the version 2, it probably has a mic.
So I have to write that
do like Alexis,
and
that always
the potential to add into that.
get to go. Alexa, it's like.
I've been hearing, Madam President, in my district from my schools, all of us want children to excel whichever school they go to. I have no doubt about that. But
Cut out.
hard. So I rise and I'm encouraged by this.
Yeah, exactly.
Senator O'Bannon.
Yes, I already have more than enough of these. I have a full complement of these.
I want to talk a little bit about the health piece that's in this striking amendment. What has been deeply encouraging since I've been here in the legislature is effort to try to
Let's make a list. Check it twice.
build back up.
Possibly, yeah. Send out some
Structure that was, I think, allowed to lapse during the Great Recession.
like
We all know that we've got a lot of work to do.
the dating connection
The last connection.
for like the last week of connections. There's
So many of our communities.
not too many next week.
The underlying budget makes some great strides.
But there's
Very
yeah, I'm gonna ship them.
I wanted to bring the attention of this
But
body
the very last week we have a bunch of connections.
important piece that could make the underlying budget, I think, that much more a budget
I like just getting a few of them.
investment, and that is the effort to build more infrastructure across the state, particularly on the capital side. And for that reason, the striking initiative references the effort by Senator Braun and others who joined on that bill to
I like it. Take it.
bonding that will get us down the have to have in our community, particularly if we are going to be moving more individuals from the state hospitals.
Oh, now we got to figure out a new.
And we can build out that continuum of care that I think is so critical, and I think supported by this body and by the governor as well. We need to have the facilities, not unlike when we said we were going to reduce class size. We have to have more classrooms to actually make that policy real. We need more construction and buildings to create those facilities. So I would urge the body to adopt the striker in that respect as well.
Senator Fortunato.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I thought it was like a second and a half ahead of Senator Brulin. So I just want to say thank you very much for being able to speak on this. I'm excited because this does include $10 million additional dollars for the Superintendent of Public Instruction to work with the Criminal Justice Training Center in order to improve safety for our children. We can't put a price tag. So we're making a serious commitment. I urge support. Thank you.
Senator Braun.
Thank you, Madam President. Rising to close debate on this striking amendment. Just real briefly, this striking amendment protects our historic education investments. It provides meaningful property tax relief. It makes some key investments that will help all Washingtonians. It does it with responsible budgeting practices, and it maintains the manufacturing tax parity that we all agreed on last year. I would ask for a yes, and I would ask for a roll call.
Senator Rolfes.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank my colleagues from across the aisle for the collegial and respectful and thoughtful debate on this amendment. I naturally rise opposed to it and hopeful that it won't pass. But I do want to say that I rise also very, very encouraged by the shared values that I hear being expressed here. I am very thankful that your proposal fully funds the public schools in accordance with the Supreme Court case. That's been something we've fought about for years, and it's it's encouraging that we all agree on that step forward. I'm also very encouraged by the emphasis that you've placed on mental health and social services. And to some extent, I felt like you were out democrating the Democrats on that. And maybe we'll try to do better in the final budget. I do want to say that one of the areas that we've had some disagreement on, and that hopefully we can work towards some kind of a conclusion amicably by the end of session, is the tax reduction piece. And the underlying Democratic budget provides tax relief to every Washingtonian who owns property.
Oh my God, do you have the Scooby-Doo door or something? What's that? Do you have a Scooby-Doo door or something? My perception, I'm like, I don't know what I did. I saw you walking. I thought you were walking towards the bathroom. I'm like, no, I think I turned around to look at the snow, and then, anyway, I was like, how did that door get you here? Or did you use the secret tunnels? I don't know what you guys are working on or whatever. So, but if you're gonna be typing or anything, I was thinking about getting some super duper close-ups of keyboards and stuff for this net neutrality story. I mean, if you're not, you're not.
He's a better typer.
If you're getting out or whatever.
This isn't like
I did cut my
nails.
Yeah, this is no like identifiable stuff.
I've got a typing injury. It hurts.
That's okay. Yeah.
Have some shots. You want me to type on some? I'll type on some.
I mean, only if you have time for that. I mean,
Have some time.
All right, I'll run and grab the
camera that I have in your hand model.
I'm out of commission. I got a paper cut on my typing finger.
I better clean my